Hello, I'm Raglin. This is Not Your Family, Not Your Friend book reviews. Book reviews without a conflict of interest. I don't get paid for these reviews. I don't swap these reviews with other authors. Not your family, I'm not your friend, so you can't guilt me into giving you good reviews. These reviews are honest. I hope they're constructive, but still, they're just one person's opinion. Mouse by Brian Reynolds. Mouse starts with the narrator talking to his young daughter, nicknamed Mouse. He is going to write about a past episode in her parents' relationship. He will attempt to be truthful, so when she is old enough, she can read it and draw her own conclusions. The story begins in 1977 in a classroom in the remote northern Ontario outpost of Orkney Post. David Taylor, the narrator, is a substitute teacher. The subsequent chapters jump back and forth in time to when he first met his wife Suzanne in Toronto and to the dramatic events unfolding in Orkney Post. The two time periods begin to merge as Suzanne takes a teaching job in Orkney Post to make a difference, and David, now her husband, dutifully follows. Suzanne can't connect with the native kids or their parents. She hates teaching them. She hates the isolation. And then she gets pregnant. She wants to escape back to civilization for the sake of her sanity and the health of her baby. The nuns who run the school ask David if he'll finish out her contract. David accepts, since the couple has no money and no place to live down south except with his in-laws. David has an ulterior motive. He's ambivalent about becoming a father. In fact, David suffers from chronic indecisiveness. The only reason he dodged the draft in the United States and came to Toronto was on the assistance and with the assistance of a friend. An unsuccessful artist, his only real job since he arrived in Canada has been a part-time position at Tim Hortons. That's the ubiquitous donut shop, just in case you're not Canadian. David doesn't know how to be a teacher, and that helps him, because the kids don't know how to be students. He connects with them through art projects. Doors begin to open. There's a 2-week hunting break in the spring when the school is closed, and all the teachers fly south for some R&R. David decides not to get on the plane, not to visit his pregnant wife. Instead, he stays alone in Orkney Post. His wife can't figure out why, and neither can David. But he has no time to ponder or to paint. The ice in the river is breaking up. There's a huge ice jam, and the native village, located on an island, is flooded. David is pressed into action. Nothing really heroic, but all the same, he's making a contribution. He's doing something worthwhile, finally. This frenetic 2 weeks, David becomes close to Rosemary, a nurse and a local native band member. Too close. The affair is doomed, but being indecisive also means you can't say no. The school year is ending, and with it, the teaching position. The baby is getting closer. The pressure mounts as David has to decide between Rosemary or Suzanne, between two very different ways of life, between two divergent futures. Brian Reynolds has crafted a very human story filled with courage and weakness. The book is worth reading, if only for its insights into the character of Aboriginal Canadians and their plight through different characters and circumstances and their varied responses. Reynolds' plot is seamless and authentic. The use of flashbacks and narrator insights actually works. His characterization is remarkable in its subtlety, as is the main character's journey, both internal and external. In a way, the character of the protagonist, David, is symbolic of most Canadians when it comes to issues surrounding our First Nations people. We mean well, but our efforts are weak and ineffectual and often do more harm than good. It's been 34 years since the time of this book, Not since the book was written, but since the time the book was written about. Not a lot has changed. Mouse is a small story on remarkable people living pretty regular lives, dealing with mostly everyday situations. There's no international locales, no larger-than-life heroes or villains. The world is never at risk. All the same, it was a page-turner for me. If this book was on Amazon, and it's not, at least I couldn't find it there, I would evaluate it as the writing is good. There's no violence, there's some sex, it's told in the first person's point of view. I'd give it a rating of 4 stars. I liked it. I received this book free from Smashwords as part of my commitment to review the work of new self-published authors. The text version of this review is posted on Barnes & Noble, Booklikes, and Smashwords. Sites where you can win or download free books are listed below. I want to thank Brian Reynolds for his hard work and commitment to this worthwhile endeavor. Keep writing, and remember what Nietzsche said, art is the proper task in life.